That was the government's response to criticism about its flood reaction from abroad. How's it faring at home? Let's go to the capital, Islamabad. Talk to the Pakistan analyst, commentator, political advisor, Mosharraf Zaidi. Mr. Qureshi there saying, yeah, OK, we are coping, but there was paralysis. Is it fair to say that people should criticise Pakistan for that kind of paralysis, inaction, or was that just sort of a complete state of shock which would have hit anybody?
I think there might have been paralysis as far as Mr. Qureshi himself was concerned, but if you go and talk to government officials at the ground level, the operational level, there was no paralysis. There was notifications issued by the provincial government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa warning of the meteorological departments sort of getting it wrong, and that in fact these flash and riverine floods were going to be much bigger than expected. I've seen these documents myself. They're up on the internet as well. So I think that, yes, of course, it's been overwhelming, because just to give you a sense of the scale of what's actually happened, the all-time record for rainfall in the city of Peshawar, which is up north, is in the month of July, is 218 millimeters of rain. But on the 28th of July this year, in Peshawar, there were 318 millimeters of rain. So that gives you a sense of the scale of what happened just at the beginning of this crisis. I don't think there's a government in the world that could have dealt with this. Maybe some governments could have dealt with it slightly better. Certainly, there's many areas of reform, and we've talked about those before on this show. But I think that fundamentally, the scale of this catastrophe was so large that I think the political elite were shell-shocked. But at the ground, the DCOs and below, the district level people in the provinces, they did whatever they could, given the resources.
What kind of destabilizing effect, other than that, which is plain for all to see, but what kind of destabilizing effect on the political system, on the security apparatus, on the sense of nationhood is there in Pakistan, is there after something like this?
I think there's a lot of talk about, the threat of, Islamist extremists and militants, having a space to operate more freely. But it's a little bit nonsensical to me, because if these floods have affected everything in their path, and if there are extremists along the Indus River Basin, then it's affected those folks as well. I think that when we talk about the threat of Islamic extremism, I think it's always a little bit inflated. Nobody has suggested that Al-Qaeda exists in any more than a couple of hundred folks. The Taliban maybe a few thousand. They would be going up against a Pakistani enemy that has 750,000 troops and 180 million people. So yes, of course this is destabilizing, but not so much from the security perspective. It's destabilizing because 20 million people are at the risk of starvation, are at the risk of cholera and disease. There's 3.5 million kids that need urgent help. People need water, people need food, people need shelter, people need medicines. Those are the things that are destabilizing Pakistan right now, not the threat of extremist terrorists.
Mr. Zaidi, thank you very much indeed. Good to have you on our program.